Hello and welcome back to the Braincare Podcast with fitness fanatic Esmee Gummer. On today's episode, we will hear from Esmee on how she overcame adversity and cultivated a mindset for extreme challenge. Now, Esmee is an OG of the fitness industry, and her story is pretty unexpected. After a routine operation, Esmee became paralyzed at the age of 18. Since then, she's not only taught herself to walk again, but taken her body to new extremes, running an ultra marathon, climbing Mount Kilamajaro, and recently being one of the first women on Channel 4's SAS Who Dares Wins. So let's hear from Esmee herself on how she's cultivated a mindset for these extreme challenges. Over to you, Esmee.
When people ask me, oh my God, why do you run marathons and run up mountains and go on things like SAS and climb Kilamajaro and do all these stupid races like run across a desert? And I'm going to tell you that there is no secret to being able to do all of these things. And I'm not going to sell you the dream right now and say there's a secret and I'm going to share the tool. It is as simple as this. If you can say yes to something, then say yes. Because one day you will have to say no. And it could be because of your age. It could be because of your physical state. It could be because of an illness. It could be because of financial reasons. It could be circumstance. It could be your location. And this is where you compare yourself to your future self. One day, and it's inevitable, someone is going to say to me, Esmee, do you want to do this? And I'm going to have to say no. Not want to, I'm going to have to say no because of one of those things I listed. But right now, if someone said to me, Esmee, do you want to go and climb Kilamajaro tomorrow? If I can say yes, because I physically can do it, I financially can do it, I mentally can do it, I circumstantially can do it. If all these things I can say yes to, why would I say no? If any of you said to me right now, and you physically can walk and run and said, I could never run a marathon, I will tell you you can. You might not enjoy it. You might have moments where it really hurts. You might have moments where you feel really, really, really defeated, but you can do it. In all of these challenges that Dan just listed, there was never a time in any of them that I was like, this has been amazing for the whole thing. I have gone to the depths of pain, physically and emotionally, to get through every one of those challenges you listed. Honestly, I've been to the depths of pain, emotionally, physically, mentally, but I still did it. It just didn't feel very nice sometimes. Your worst case scenario is what you're living now. Everybody listening to this, you are living your worst case scenario right now. Every day you are living your worst case scenario. So if you go and do something and it doesn't work out, you'll only come back to your worst case scenario. And I think we're all pretty pleased with our worst case scenario because we're not doing anything about it.
I think you're spot on. You mentioned earlier when you do your, a lot of personal training, fitness, you consider yourself a mindset coach. How do you, what are your practices? What are some of the things you do to help train a mindset around achieving more and just accomplishing a little bit more each time?
For me, it's always I try and because I do it through exercise. So basically, if I talk about it from a fitness perspective,
Yep.
So generally, people exercise. We've been conditioned and we've grown in this world we're living in that you exercise to lose weight, gain muscle, get a six-pack, drop a dress size, look good, right?
Those are all my reasons usually, yeah, especially the dress.
Right? And that's what it is. But the funny thing about it is you don't do that. You don't lose weight. Your body, science does it. If you exercise and eat well, and this is talking the average person because I'm taking out disabilities and illnesses and things like that. The general person, if you exercise and eat well, you'll lose weight. And we set that as our goal. We set our goal as, I want to lose weight, and then we lose it and we think we lost it. You didn't lose it. The science did that. Your body was designed to do that, right? And what I try and say to people is, you are going to lose weight if you follow my program. If that's what you want, you're going to lose. So what we're going to do is we're going to park that. We're going to put that to the side because that's inevitable. And what we're going to do instead is we're going to think of some goals that you want out of your workout that's going to serve you outside of the gym. So it could be anything from You run in on 10 kilometers on the treadmill, and number 10, speed 10 on the treadmill. All right, we're going to work to get you to a 14. You do that, you get yourself to that 14. That's not science. When you get there, you go, wow, I got myself to a 14. If I can get myself to a 14, I can maybe get myself to a 16. Maybe that means that I can, go from X in my life to Y in my life. If you can gain confidence in the gym, in moving your body and excelling your body, how can you take that outside the gym? And I always say, how you act in your workout is how you're going to act outside. I can tell a lot about a person from a 1 minute plank. Are you fidgeting? Do you drop your knees when I'm not looking? Are you moaning out loud? Oh, are you exaggerating your breathing? Like that. You can tell a lot about yourself from a 1 minute plank. The way you act in a 1 minute plank is most likely how you're going to act when life makes you feel the same sensation of a plank: uncomfortable, overheated, stressed, annoyed, all those things. Are you the type of person that quits? Are you the type of person that drops your knees when I'm not looking? Are you the type of person that gives up too quickly? Are you the type of person that exaggerates the pain? And what I try and get people to do is translate that. So every time they're working out, I'm saying, what can you put in front of you? What is that goal that you really, really, really want outside this workout? Let's put it in front of you on that treadmill. Let's put it in front of you when you choose the weight size. Let's put it in front of you when you go to put the weight down and you carry on. Let's put it in front of you when you've got 10 seconds to the end of the minute and you carry on going. And by doing that, it completely just changes the way people then respond to pain. And I'm talking about life pain. If you can equip yourself in a workout to go through a physical pain, you can equip yourself to go through life pain.
It's interesting. As you were saying, it reminded me of one of my favorite quotes. I don't know if you've heard this one, but it's, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got.
Yeah.
Which I think is just, brilliant, as in you've got to make some kind of systematic change in your mindset to change the past to become a different future.
Exactly. And it's the same as, the lesson will always repeat itself until it's learned.
Yeah.
And again, I'm only using, like I said, weight loss and things like that because it's easy for people to, understand we all have a body.
Yeah.
It's the same thing if it's people who yo-yo. So it's not just with weight loss, people who yo-yo with life goals. They get there and then they hold on to it and then they drop back, and then they get there, they hold on to it, they drop back. And it's because the lesson will keep repeating itself until you learn. You will never be happy until you find happiness in the journey. Like you said, it's not the end goal. So yeah, it's about how can you have a goal, but then how can you grow while getting to your goal? Because your goal might not come for years and years and years. What are you going to do? Spend years being unhappy just to get to that goal, or spend years learning and growing and feeling good about yourself and then getting the goal as well? It's like double prize, isn't it?
Okay, so I've got so many customer questions, community questions. I need to get through those as well. So Keith McDonald has said, for you personally, what does 2020 mean for 2021, for how you'll approach 2021?
I think we've been ridiculously lucky this year when we look at what we've gained personally. I don't know about you and I don't know about the listeners, but I think as sad as this year's been in many ways and the things that have happened, how fortunate we have been to all experience something together. Because one of the biggest things in life is not being able to understand people going through certain things, whether it be grief or an eating disorder or a divorce or whatever it may be, not being able to empathize. And one of the most powerful things that have come out of this year is, for the first time in a long time, we can all empathize with each other. We've all had to do the same thing and feel in different ways. Some people kept their job, some people lost their job, but either way, we've all felt personally victimized by COVID and by this pandemic in whatever way it came in, whether it came in job or money or relationships or whatever it be, or illness. So I think one of the strongest things that we have learned this year is that we've had a chance to stop, and I hope had a chance to all understand what the important things are. For me, when COVID hit, when the pandemic hit, I lost 3 of my biggest jobs in 24 hours. and I became completely jobless. I was working in a gym at the time, and I lost that. And then I was presenting the London Marathon, and that got cancelled. I was flying to Sri Lanka to present a running show that got cancelled, and I had another TV show that was happening, and that got cancelled. This isn't me telling you this because I'm being a victim, by the way, and I know we've all dealt with it. But my point about it was, when I'd lost all of that, what was the first thing that I wanted to do? The first thing that I wanted, and it was to see my family. So I had all my job taken away. I had everything stripped. I had no schedule, no work, no purpose. What was the first thing that I wanted to do? And it was people. I wanted to see my friends and family. Every time you're getting stressed, and every time that life's like throwing all its things at you, is to come back to that 2020 person of sitting at home, doing nothing, and thinking about the things that mean the most to you. And if you can take that 2020 headspace into 2021, when life gets all crazy and muddled, stop and remember, I sat on my own, in my own headspace, and I got through it. So I can do it now.
Love it. Okay, question from Ellie, who says, when taking on challenges like SAS Who Dares or ultra marathons, what do you find harder, the physical or the mental challenges?
It's 100% the mental challenges. Like I said earlier, physically, you know, when I was saying earlier, oh, I can't do that, it's going to hurt. You physically can, I promise you. I honestly, and please don't for 1 minute think I'm sitting here saying like, oh, it's easy, it's this, but I promise you, you can physically do things. The thing that stops you is your mindset. And in SAS, the people that went home first and the people that quit were probably physically the strongest, but mentally the weakest. And I promise you that. I was physically one of the weaker ones, and purely because I was 5'1". I weighed about 50 kilos, and I was carrying 23 kilos on my back. In comparison to James, who was 6'1", who weighed 100 kilos and had 23 kilos on his back. So when we talk physically, getting to the top of a mountain, holding that burden on our back, physically, James was always going to get there before me. Physically, he was going to get up there before me because I was carrying half my body weight. He was carrying 25% of his body weight. But mentally, I was able to get to the top because I wanted to get there, and I mentally put that up there. So I had the odds against me when it comes to physical. So that's when I honestly say to you, I promise you, you physically can do anything. It's this that you have to get ready.
Brilliant. Okay, last question. And it comes from James, who says, what would you say to younger you?
I would love to just say, just don't worry. I would love to say, just don't worry. I would love to teach younger me about trust and patience. I think they're the two biggest skills that you could have. And I learned about it a lot this year, to just trust that things are going to happen how they happen, and to have patience that what you want will come when it's meant to come. And it goes back to what I said earlier, when that text message you're waiting for, whether you get it in an hour or in 8 hours, it's coming. Why do you need it? You know, instant gratification. And I think to my younger self, I would say, trust what's happening around you. Have patience that the things you want will come if they're meant to and when they're meant to. There's things in my life that I really want, but they're maybe not meant to happen for another 10 years because it won't make sense now. My message with wellness and exercise, I've been speaking about it for 10 years, but it wasn't cool 5 years ago. 5 years ago, when I was in London at One Rebel, mental health wasn't sexy and cool. People didn't want to talk about mental health. They wanted to go to the gym and get a six pack. I had to be patient. And now people are listening and they're open to what I'm saying. It wouldn't have worked 5 years ago if I forced it. So I had to wait 5 years. And it's the same with other things. So yeah, to my younger self, just don't worry. Just accept what's happening. And also, good or bad things that happen to you are going to happen, no matter what. So don't measure yourself as a person, the amount of bad things that happen and the amount of good things that don't. They're going to happen. And the best thing you can do is just like I said earlier, just let them pass. Take them in, learn, grow, enjoy or not enjoy, and then let them pass.
I mean, perfect. It's been like speaking to a poet. So it's been amazing. Thank you so much, Esmee. Real pleasure. And to everyone that listened in, thank you again. Hope you look forward to your newsletters this Sunday. Continue taking your hikes, taking care of your brain. If people want to follow you, Esmee, where can they do that?
So I'm on Instagram. So it's Esmee_LDN on Instagram. And that's where I put most of everything I'm doing on there. So that's probably the best way.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time. It's been awesome.
Thank you for having me.